doing? Hope you had a great week, because I did. I did. Okay, so I'm going to try to make this quick. All right. First thing first, I'm not a financial advisor. All right. This video is just for educational purpose. Okay. And anything that I say here, if you must take it, use the demo account. All right. Okay. So just a quick review on the levels that I've been calling for like 2 weeks straight up now. For 2 weeks straight up, okay, for 2 weeks straight up, we've been looking at this order block here, all right. You can go back to my two previous videos where I mentioned this order block and this gap. These are the two levels that I mentioned here that we're going to retrace back into it, and that's what happened. All right, so I'm not going to be going into details. You can go watch it to understand why I wanted price to retrace back into it. Okay, so that happened. And how did we trade back into it? If you look at here, let me delete this. If you look at here, you could see that we had this 4-hour bearish structure, right? We had a 4-hour bearish structure, which we had a fair value gap here and an order block here. So if price wants to retrace back into that weekly, which is internal liquidity, if it wants to retrace back into it, because remember, there was this time that I mentioned to you guys that price goes from internal to external, right? It goes from internal to external, and with we knowing that this is only what price does, right? If you're aligning your time frame alignment and you want price to retrace back to the internal, you want to see a proper time frame alignment. Okay, even when it's going back up, you want to see a proper time frame alignment, right? That is what happened here. We had weekly and we had the weekly and 4-hour aligning together, and we had that even though price wasted time here, played around, it still respected all these levels. First of all, this created a liquidity. Price came to it, took out all those liquidity, confused some traders. I would lie to you, when price was doing this, I stayed away. I didn't trade much here because I was still holding my buys from this level, which I'm still holding till now. So I didn't do much here, okay, because I don't want to be in this price action. But as soon as we took out this, I started taking my buys here, up here, right? I closed at this level because I wasn't even sure what's going to happen here. So on Friday, we had the sweep again of previous weekly high. Weekly high, if you go to the weekly candle, you can see this was a high on the weekly. So we took out that, and yeah, that was how the week ended. So now, what do we expect next on NASDAQ? What do I expect next on NASDAQ? Because this is my personal thing. If you want to copy it, you can copy it and use the demo account to trade it if you must trade it. All right. So now let's go back to weekly and see what the weekly have for us. Let me actually delete everything here. Let me delete everything. You can start off from weekly. Sorry, I'm downloading something on my system, which is slowing it down a little bit. So looking at the weekly here, we can start afresh again and look at this price action, right? Price is coming from a fair value gap, which is internal liquidity, right? So since price goes from internal to external, this is a fair value gap here. Sorry, I've been busy like since morning. I've been on the chat since morning, studying since morning. From it's crazy. From 7 a.m. that I woke up till now, I've been on the chat studying. So I'm so tired. I'm a little bit tired. I just want to do this, upload it, then I go take some rest. It's weekend, it's supposed to be outside, but I don't feel like just have to study this thing, because I like to make sure that every week that I come into the market, I'm gonna be 1% better both my technical, my psychology, and we're getting there. So today we're gonna talk about NAS and also gold, all right? Because I started looking at gold from last week, so we're gonna talk about gold too. We're gonna do analysis on gold. So here now we have this internal which has respected, that's done its job, right? Then we have this next candle, which 2 weeks ago I said I want to treat this as an order block and see how price reacts to it. And price reacted to it like really nice. Really nice. Why does this thing keep deleting? Price reacted to it really nice, and I like that. Okay, so now not only that, if you look at this, you will see that we also swept the previous weekly low here. We swept this previous weekly low, so this is likely to push price higher. This candle is likely to push price higher, which is what happened last week. Came back, tested it, and look at that move. I called these two levels 2 weeks ago, and look at price did its thing now. Call this level, call this gap here, and price came first to the gap, and second to this second one, and there we go. So now my eyes are still here. I'm still looking at this fair value gap. I don't care what any other person say. I'm a long-term trader. I look at the long-term analysis, look at top-down analysis, look at long-term where price is likely to trade to. I go on lower time frame and look for my entries to trade towards that direction. All right. So looking at this now, my interest is still here. All right. I don't need to look at the monthly. I don't need to look at the daily. Weekly, it's so clear to me. So with that, let's go to the 4 hour and see what we have on the 4 hour and see if 4 hour is also saying the same thing, that we're likely to go to that level. Let me delete one of those. So looking at the 4 hour here, we swept previous weekly low. We swept previous weekly low. And what do we have here? We have an inversion. We have an inversion fair value gap telling us that the bearish are weak, bullish is taking over. So what else do we have here? We have this other block here. We have this inside other block. Okay, we have this inside other block inside this inversion. So now, and we have one more thing here, but this is looking weak already. We have this fair value gap here, but it's looking weak already. I like to mark out all these points of interest. Okay, or you can do this actually. You can use your fair value gap. I actually don't use fair value gap that much. You can use your fair value gap and see that this is inside discounts. All right, this is inside the discount. So this other block is high probability that it's likely to hold price and push price back higher to this level and to this level. All right. So, but how do we just don't, we're not just going to jump into the trade, of course. We have to look for lower time frame confirmation inside these two levels. Reason why I'm not looking at this now, because you can see we're already closing inside, and this is a bearish candle. So it might play around, do its thing, do its thing. I still want to see this get swept. Since it's a bearish candle, I want to see it get swept. Want to see it get swept, then we can start looking for the buys below here to go up, target this and target this. So yeah, so this is my thing that I'm looking at. It's all based on possibility. All right, it's all based on possibility. It's not must that it must happen, so it's all based on possibility. So there's a possibility that price could reach up for all this. All right. So with that being said, let's look at gold. I think that's it for NAS. Let's look at gold and see what gold have. So this is gold, and during the week I cut some beautiful trades off these levels. So let me delete everything that is on gold so that we can start afresh and analyze it. So looking at gold, we start from weekly. Okay, everything that I trade, I start from high time frame. So I had a swing from here, which I'm still holding by God's grace. I'm still holding my swing from these levels, right? I'm not gonna start doing my analysis, my breakdown on how I did this because that's before we started this. But any other one that I do now, I'm gonna do a weekly review on next week. So we have this fair value gap here on weekly, okay, which will be my draw when we start pulling back on time frame that aligns with weekly, all right, on the lower time frames. So I will mark this and leave it, have it in mind, and also the top of this breaker, because this is a breaker. This is a breaker, okay? I don't care what any other person say. This is a breaker. That doesn't mean that price can dip inside of it, right? So price can tap this and go up, maybe come back for the second time, right? So, but this is a breaker. Remember, I did a lot of study today. So, I did a lot of study today. Look at it. I did a lot of studies today. No, this is gonna be this. I did some studies today. So no, this one. It's gonna be this one. All right, it's gonna be the closest one before. This is not what I want to look at. If I want to look at this, I'm gonna look at it like this. I'll start looking at it from here. I'll start looking at it from here and see how we react to it. But that will be some other time talk that we'll talk. All right. I'm still gonna come here and give you some gold strategy on how you can, trade gold on higher time frame and on lower time frame based on your high time frame direction. Remember, guys, I told you I'm tired, so you might hear me sound different. But if you're tired of the way I sound, you can, come back next week and see what I have for you next week. But for this week, this is how I'm sounding until I go back and get some rest and eat. Not had even had my breakfast, and it's already 3 p.m. It's already 3 p.m. Excuse me. So this is what we have on gold. We have these 2 points of interest. These are going to be my points of interest when we start pulling back. All right. So I'm still very, very bullish on gold. All right. Let's look at 4 hour. Gold is a lot easier to analyze. Trust me, it's a lot easier to analyze. So we have these 2 levels on gold. Okay. So, having these 2 levels on gold, what can you see? We have a low here. Could it be the same thing that happened on NASDAQ could happen here? I don't know. So, but we have a low here. We have this 4 hour low, right? Have that first because on gold, right? Let me show you something. If price is going up, and it wants to pull back up again after what is it called? After a pushback up, right? It will definitely take out some liquidity, right? To definitely take out some liquidity. So could this be that liquidity that it wants to come back to take, or could it be that price really wants to go up? It's all based on possibility. You understand? So we will see which one price wants to do. But currently, right now, what is 4 hours saying? We're definitely bearish on 4 hour on gold. Okay? We're definitely bearish on 4 hour until we disrespect this bearish PDRA. Remember what happened on NAS, right? We went above this, right? We went above this fair value gap and started playing inside. Though it's not exactly how it happened on NAS because NASDAQ first took out the low before going up, but this didn't actually take out the low. But we still have a fair value gap here, and we have a huge order block. Have this fair value gap, and we have this huge order block too. These 2 candles are also an order block, but I like to mark out the last candle as my order block. Just leave only that one. If price wants to come to it, it comes to it. If it doesn't want to come to it, up to price. All right. So we want to see what's going to happen. Do we want to keep going up, or But this is a nice point of interest. But if price comes back here, I'm looking for a buy from here. All right, that is my plan, not your plan. All right, so if you want to do it, can consult your financial advisor. Can take everything that I say. You can't even take anything that I say. Can consult your financial advisor and he will advise you if you want to buy from there or not. All right, but if you want to do exactly as I said, you can use a demo account and test it on a demo account. All right, so this is what I have on gold. As I said, gold is so easier to analyze. And again, on gold, so I forgot to mention this, we have this fair value gap here. If this fair value gap holds, then there's a possibility that we're going up. Because why? If you look here, we swept a low here, right? This is why I had a late buy on Friday. I had a late buy, just a little scalp buy up here on Friday. I had a sell here, down here, buy up here. So yeah, guys, this is it on gold. Maybe sometime soon, I'm gonna give you some gold strategies that I'm working on some gold strategies. Maybe I'll just give you some clue. I'll just record some videos and put in here, for educational purpose. All right, so yeah, let me go get some rest. It's been a day, but I enjoyed the day, studying, going through what happened during the week. Because trust me, when NAS play around again, I'm gonna catch it. I'm gonna catch that play around that he's playing around and catch the next move back up. I'm gonna do that. This other time I just stayed away and just have to study. Though I know that price was going there, but it wasn't clean. It wasn't that clean for me. Looking at it, this range, I know how to trade range, but I intentionally left this because it happened over days. And anyways, sometimes it makes sense, you let it go. And beside, I have my swing trade from here, which I'm still holding. So not like I wasn't in the trade, I was in the trade. But even though I wasn't in the trade, it's still okay. Can let 1 week go, come back the next week and see what's going on. All right. So guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend and I will speak to you again next week. But if anything changes, those on my free Telegram know how we do it. Once anything changes, I'm gonna update them over there. All right. So if you want to join, you can join there. All right. Bye for now. Talk to you soon again.